Hi, this is Ali. Welcome to my channel. If you have subscribed, thank you. And if you haven't, please do so. Hit the bell icon. You'll be notified when I put up my next video. And in the description below, there is a link to my channel so you can check out my other videos. And there is an email address if you'd like to email me a question. Today, I wanted to just come and do a quick one to do with patterns. And I have already done a video on patterns, so I will link that in the description. I basically just wanted to come on and speak about how bad it can feel for people when they are breaking patterns, and that is quite normal to feel horrendous and to feel bad and to feel as if you're going against everything you know. But that is what you need to do to break a pattern. You need to feel the emotion. You need to feel how bad it feels to break a pattern. So what we mean by patterns is throughout our lives, when things happen to us, it can make us start going into patterns that are very negative for us, and very often this happens when we're children. Very often there can be something that happened in our childhood that basically creates patterns. Now the pattern is, it's our inner child trying to keep us doing what it feels for it is safe, because it doesn't want to deal with the hurt, it doesn't want to deal with the pain of anything, so it will keep you going over and over the same ground. Now, if you don't break these patterns, you will find that you will keep doing the same things you've always done within your life, and you will get the same outcomes that you've always got. You will attract the same type of people you've always got, and you will end up, very often, this can be detrimental to relationships, because you will always do the same as you've always done. You will never change. And a pattern is not good for you. It's not good for anybody, and it doesn't serve you or anyone around you. So what we really need to do when we feel that something is happening and we kind of feel that this could be a pattern, we need to start acknowledging what is a pattern. Now, if you're in something where someone is not treating you right and not treating you well, and you're allowing this, you are in a pattern. It's your patterns that are keeping you in there, and that goes with everything. Anything that you are doing that you don't like, but you're doing it because you don't like the opposite, you don't want to think about the opposite, and the opposite scares you, that is a pattern, and that needs to be broken. And patterns can keep people in very, very unhappy relationships and unhappy marriages for years and years. A lot of abusive relationships people put up with because of patterns that they have put up with all their lives. And very often it's the fear of being on their own, it's the fear of breaking away from something, it's the fear of the unknown. But these are all just patterns. That fear is the pattern. And like I say, the inner child is what keeps you in those patterns because it feels safe. The inner child does not want you to change. It almost takes control of you when you're fulfilling these patterns. Your inner child becomes the adult, and you become the child. It takes over, and what you need to be doing is to actually get the balance back, and explain to your inner child that you are the adult and everything is going to be okay. And that's all the inner child wants. The inner child is scared. What you have to remember with this is the child. This is you as a child when you were little, and you've stayed at that point when something that happened to you that was bad. You stayed at that point, and that inner child is still trying to keep you and keep itself safe. So what we do is we try and talk to the inner child and tell the inner child that everything's going to be okay. So just if you're feeling that you're in a pattern and you want to break the pattern, you start trying to talk to your inner child and just say, everything's going to be okay. I'm in charge here. It's going to be fine. I'll look after you. Don't worry about it. Talk to the child as if there is a little child that you have, as if it's your son or daughter. Talk to them as if you would your own child. And, say it to yourself. You can say it out loud. You can write it down. But you can also do it in meditation. But the idea is that you are soothing your inner child so that you can take your control back, and that the inner child will trust that you are the adult and trust that you have control of this. And what you then need to do is you need to do the opposite to what you've always done. So when you have realised that something is a pattern, the way to break this is to do the opposite. So you realise something is a pattern, and then you decide at that point that you're not going to do that again. You're going to do the opposite, and you do the exact opposite to what you would normally do in that situation. Now, like I say, this isn't going to feel good. This is not going to feel good at all. I know I've broken my own patterns from my childhood, and it feels horrendous because you almost, you feel comfortable in the pattern does feel really comfortable to you. It feels safe. It feels everything that you think is instinctive, but it's not instinctive. This is a pattern. So this is also part of it, is to acknowledge what is instinctive in you and what is a pattern. And again, meditation is very good for doing this, because you can actually just really, really relax down. You can stop thought, and you can actually just allow yourself to breathe and realize that something doesn't make you feel good, and so that is a pattern. Like I say, anything that does not feel good to you is a pattern, and the only way to break that is for you to do the exact opposite. But like I say, it will not feel good. It's going to feel horrendous. When you first do it, it will make you feel ill. You may not sleep. You will really, really feel out of sorts, but it will not take that long until you start to feel better, and then you will find that the patterns then stop coming. Once you start dealing with one pattern, the other patterns that are around you will start to show up so that you can deal with them. You will then deal with them, and then you will find that all these patterns stop. And when you've dealt with the first pattern you deal with, when you deal with that one first, that will feel worse than any of the other patterns. And once you have dealt with that pattern first, you will find that the other patterns that come to you do not feel as bad at all. They will start to feel much easier to break. You will know how to break them. You will instantly know when there's a pattern. It's easy for me now. I can see when something's a pattern straight away now because of doing the work. But again, it's not easy to start off with. You have to really, really, be mindful that you don't feel great about something, so it is a pattern. And, write stuff down. Keep a journal on stuff, on what is patterns and what you did about these patterns. And also really, really, big yourself up for breaking the patterns, because it's not easy to break, especially when you've been in patterns since a child. It's not easy to break any of these patterns because you're so used to just being in there and doing the same thing. So really, really big yourself up for breaking the patterns, and know that you can break these patterns and that you will carry on breaking them. And like I say, just get yourself through the feeling rough. Even though it feels rough, just know and just tell yourself it will feel better tomorrow, which it will. It goes quite quickly once you start breaking the patterns. Once you do the opposite to what you've always done, you feel really bad to start off with, but then you do start to feel better really, really quickly. Once you start breaking the patterns, it really, really just starts feeling better and better. And then you can just acknowledge every time there's a pattern, you just acknowledge it, do the opposite, and it starts to become just nothing to do the opposite. You just really, really just do the opposite. It's really, really good. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. And like I say, if you need any help with anything to do with patterns, please send me a message on my email address. And if this video helped, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you.